Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. We got Joe Rogan laying into Lindsey Graham. You love to see it. There's nothing like a good Lindsey Graham impression when you're just talking about getting all that money. Give me all that money. I just want to see Russian people and Ukrainian people just scattered all around because I know it brings me that money. Oh, he deserves it so much. I'm going to be showing you the Joe Rogan clip. Then we're going to move on to a clip where Trump couldn't even control the crowd when he brought up Lindsey Graham. And then I'm going to show you Tucker Carlson also laying into Lindsey Graham. Again, you love to see it. Let's get right into it.
I think hasn't finished yet, and so it might even rack up higher than that. But the mandate is like very specific. It's like the basic policies of like, okay, immigration control. Can't just have an open border with no control of who comes into our country. A desire to get out of stupid foreign wars.
Yes.
And obviously improve the economy, deal with inflation, things like that. But he's got a mandate to do that right now, and he's got some great people around him. Listen, I was rooting for him as hard as anyone except Tony Hinchcliffe last night. But I will say now, I think now till January 20th, the pressure should be on Trump to do better on the appointments than he did last time. He's got a lot of better people around him than he ever had in 2016 or 2020, but he was floating out Mike Pompeo as the Secretary of Defense, and he did have Mike Pompeo speak at his final campaign event. And to be clear, Mike Pompeo is Liz Cheney's pick for defense secretary. It's Hillary Clinton's pick for defense secretary. And so much of this will be lost if he puts that guy in there. He needs to keep all of the Lindsey Grahams and the Mike Pompeos and all of these guys away from his administration. Bring in the non-interventionists, man. No one wants to fight these stupid wars anymore. And that's what you ran on and won on.
I want Lindsey Graham to start a podcast.
That I'd be fine with.
We got to get those minerals. There's some expensive minerals over there in Ukraine. Tim Dillon was doing an impression of him yesterday. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Dude, I don't even like, maybe I should. No, he deserves it. But did you ever see the thing when he was running for president? Where he was talking about.
He ran for president?
Lindsey Graham ran for president.
That's amazing.
In 2016.
Imagine
and
the
remember,
hubris.
I think Trump gave his phone number out. Or something like that.
Did he really?
Yeah. You don't remember that?
No.
It was like, because he was like attacking Donald Trump for probably not being an awful war hawk or something like that. And Donald Trump like said something about how he used to call him and ask for money, when he was running for campaign, and then he just gave his phone number out. It's just the best. He made a senator change his phone number. It was just so great.
That's like a Chael Sonnen move.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's so funny.
Amazing. But he said Lindsey Graham was asked about being the first single president.
Yeah, never married, no
and
kids.
he goes, there might be a bunch of different first ladies if I was in there.
Right.
Like,
yeah, sure, buddy. First of all, that's the last thing you say if you're a man and you're heterosexual. You say, I'm trying to find a good woman.
Yeah, really.
I'm trying to just find one good woman that I can grow with and that I love with all my heart. Just one good woman. I know that she's out there. That's what you say.
Yeah, you don't.
Might be a bunch of first ladies. I'm going to get divorced and married and divorced and married and keep on scooping up them minerals in the Ukraine. I got to give those minerals to the Russians. We're just walking around with women's panties on and high heels. I'm the president.
I mean, listen, I'm
the first lady too. I'm gonna wear her clothes.
I typically wouldn't go after someone for that, but when you're a war hawk, all is fair. But he's got to keep those people away from him, man. And that really was his failure in his first term. And look, I do understand him saying, I don't know, he was an outsider. He had never lived in Washington D.C. He didn't know all these people, but he's had a lot of time. This is 8 years later, and he's got a great core of people around him, and those are the people to take advice from. It's like, Mr. President.
Well, they're on
if you're listening,
they're on it right now.
Well, talk to Rand Paul. Yeah. Rand Paul will tell you who to put in those positions. Talk to Thomas Massey. I just saw he floated out Thomas Massey for I can't remember what position it was. That's great. Put those guys in there. These are the America First guys, okay? And it's not Mike Pompeo. It's not the war machine, dude. And also, look, his rhetoric was so great on Ukraine through the election, and when
Man, I absolutely love that. We're going to jump over some other clips. I will say, there was someone in the comments section. I really got to start saving your comments so I can show them to everybody, guys. But somebody was like, Dave Smith, oh, he's so boring and everything like that. And I was like, I don't really see it that way. He has a lot of information. He's talking about a lot of good stuff. But that was like a perfect example of like, Joe could have went for another 10 minutes on Lindsey Graham. He was getting into it. He was getting into that impression. He was feeling it. He was laughing. And then this guy just cuts it off to talk about that again. It's like, listen, bro, you're on the JRE. You got 3 hours minimum to talk about all that stuff. But he's going on a rant like that. He's calling Lindsey Graham gay. Bro, you got to let that ride. I'm just saying. Oh, man, but it's so true. So true. Lindsey Graham, man, just out for that money. I was just at this hearing here and I was just hoping that all y'all would have some money for me. I don't know. I've been standing next to this Trump guy. I mean, we haven't gone to war in weeks. I mean, this is a little bit crazy. I mean, I haven't gotten any money in so long. I mean, I'm worth $100 million. We're looking to make it $300 million for no apparent reason. I got no kids, got no wife. I don't care. I like money. I mean, I'm a demon. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I party with lizard people and I just like to see humans die. That's all. That's my Lindsey Graham for sure. That's probably a pretty spot on impression of when he's behind closed doors. Here's a clip of Donald Trump not being able to control a crowd. I have never seen Donald Trump at one of his own rallies not be able to control a crowd. That is how much the American people dislike Lindsey Graham. Check this out.
He happens to be a little bit further left than some of the people on the stage. But I always say, when I'm in trouble on the left, I call up Lindsey Graham and he straightens it out so fast. And I'll tell you, no, remember. I love him. He's a good man. Come up here, Lindsey. Come up here, Lindsey. Come here.
Okay, are you ready? America, the nightmare you're facing is just about over. Help is on the way. This is the most qualified man to be president of the United States. And let it be said that South Carolina created the biggest political comeback in American history.
Thank you, Lindsey.
Wow. Had to get off that stage quick. That was the only thing that saved him. If he tried to talk about anything else other than how great Trump is for those 20 seconds, they just would have ate him alive. That's how much people don't like Lindsey Graham, is that when they're at a Trump rally, they're like, move aside, Trump. Move aside. I got this tomato. I don't want it to hit you. I don't want it to get on your suit. Just for Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham's like, this nightmare y'all are going through is about to end. I mean, I'm part of it. I love the war and everything that's happening because it brings me my money. You don't understand. I love this money. But the nightmare is almost over. And then for me, a nightmare begins because this man right here, he doesn't let me make money like I like to. I got to go back to stocks. I don't like stocks. I like BlackRock money. I got to admit it. I mean, anyway, let's get into Tucker Carlson laying into Lindsey Graham as well. I love the way Tucker Carlson does it. Listen to this.
It's a little galling to be lectured by people with impossibly generous congressional pensions about sacrifices that you get to make. But it's especially infuriating to hear the last guy who, speaking of food prices, has skipped very few meals recently, tell you that looking at history informs you of everything you need to know about the future. Really? What sort of history are we talking about? How about last year, when the withdrawal from Afghanistan humiliated, degraded, and weakened this country? Did Lindsey Graham, who supposedly cares about the military, do a single thing to improve it? Did he call for the resignation of any person responsible for that humiliating disaster that resulted in the deaths of American citizens? No, he didn't. And those same people are now in charge of our strategy in Ukraine. So you could call that history, and it might be worth learning from it. And one of the things you learn is the people currently in charge have an extensive and easily verifiable track record of failure when they intervene into the highly complex affairs of other countries, countries whose languages they don't speak and whose histories they don't understand. People who, by hubris and boredom, wind up interjecting themselves into places they know nothing about. But the bigger question really for Lindsey Graham is, when is the last time he did anything, one thing, to improve the life of an American citizen other than himself? Gas prices will go up, food prices will go up. Well, that's okay because it won't affect Lindsey Graham. He doesn't have kids, and he's got that generous congressional pension. He's set. But what about you? Well, you're going to be repaid in virtue. Now, it's not cash. It's not even cryptocurrency. It's better. For the rest of your life, you can feel good about having supported something called democracy, something that is in shorter supply in this country than it's ever been, but something that we hope to defend in a country you can't identify on a map. So you may be poor. In fact, it's almost certain that you will be, but you can be very proud of that. And by the way, if you don't do that, you're a murderer. It's a little gall.
Tucker Carlson, he really dislikes Lindsey Graham. I mean, ever since Tucker Carlson woke up to the useless wars that are going on, he has really laid into Lindsey Graham, just like Dave Smith. I mean, they just dislike warhawks, which I think all of us should. I mean, if you know anybody that served, to have them go over to any other nation and have to do what they do because a guy like this wants to make some money is absolutely disgusting.
Reject a single judge the Biden administration has proposed, no matter how crazy they are. For procedural reasons, in a Senate split 50-50, Lindsey Graham's support matters very much. Senate aides tell us that because of Lindsey Graham, one man, the Biden administration is able to rush its nominees through the Senate confirmation process faster than any other president in memory. So the most radical president of our lifetimes gets the most judges confirmed thanks to Lindsey Graham. Now, those nominees include someone that many Democrats hope to see in the Supreme Court soon. That would be an activist called Ketanji Brown Jackson. Jackson is a former trial judge who spent the last 4 years writing political orders for the benefit of Jerry Nadler and Nancy Pelosi. For example, Brown once wrote an opinion comparing the previous administration to an illegal monarchy. That decision was so crazy that the D.C. Court of Appeals, which leans to the left, reversed it not once, but twice. But it was good enough for Lindsey Graham, who voted in favor of Brown's confirmation. That's because Lindsey Graham, who, in case you didn't notice, spent most of last year begging for your money from conservatives at all hours on cable television, has no problem installing judges who hate his constituents. And you shouldn't be surprised by that. A few years ago, Graham admitted in an interview with Politico that his overriding political ambition was to, quote, stay relevant. Not to represent his voters or keep the left from destroying the country, but to ingratiate himself with the people in power and advance his own interests.
Wow, that is crazy. But you know what? I like Lindsey Graham, because if you went to Lindsey Graham and you said, Lindsey, why did you do that? He would just be like, oh, what'd I do? Oh, the Supreme Court. What's her name? Tishy Jackson, something like that. She had glasses, right? Black girl. I don't know. It was just a bunch of money, man. I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, they came with this. I mean, it was crazy. You have to understand, all right? Usually they bring out checks when they give me money. These people came with these suitcases filled with money. And I was like, good Lord, what is this all about? And I opened it up and it was just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I mean, there was like 15 suitcases. I mean, what do you think I'm going to say? I just wanted that money. I took it to a bathhouse afterwards. You wouldn't believe what I got with that money. This is just, what are you supposed to say when you're supposed to absolve yourself? This is just for educational purposes. That's no, entertainment purposes or educational, I don't know. Oh, Lindsey Graham's old school, man. We got another one. Oh, where he's going at Lindsey Graham here. I'll play a little bit of it. That's actually a quick one. It's like less than a minute. Let's go.
We learned something else really, really interesting. And it's about someone else who tells you he's really conservative. Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. He's always running around telling you he's going to have another hearing into this. Conservatism, I'm conservative. Well, we just learned from this very long Washington Post rebuttal to our documentary series that on January 6th, Lindsey Graham was running around the Capitol ordering the Capitol Police to murder the protesters. Quote, "You've got guns, use them. We give you guns for a reason," shrieked Lindsey Graham. "Shoot American citizens for the crime of trespassing." Really? This is the conservative position? Unarmed protesters show up? Look, they shouldn't have been there. We've never defended that and never would. But kill them? What the hell's wrong with you, Lindsey Graham?
I fully believe he said that. That quote sounds like him. That sounds like, "I got you guns for a reason. What are you guys doing?" And he's just holding a bunch of money. He's like, "Oh my God. Oh, I gotta leave. Where's Nancy? Nancy, I thought we were friends. I need your stock tips. I need to escape, please." I could so see him doing that 100%. But he's old school. Old school guys. He probably is in Senate hearings, Congress hearings, and he's probably just like, "Hey, I don't know what's going on with this AOC is your name. It's initials. That's your name. Your name is initials. Fine, whatever." This black girl yelling over here, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff we're talking about. But I don't rarely hear you youngins get to the money. There's no money in all this. You understand? I get it, gender affirming care. I asked them how much I'm getting. They said nothing. I mean, I remember when these meetings were just us trading stock trips and getting drunk. Do y'all remember? Can I get an amen? Can I? Oh, screw you guys. I'm so tired of this. Wrap it up. I'll vote for whichever thing gets me the money. This is ridiculous. I'm going to Ukraine. I'm going to Ukraine with a bunch of my BlackRock friends. They're building infrastructure. It's going to be nice. It's like Dick Cheney 2.0. It's real nice. But you know what? I guess you guys don't want any of that. Y'all are ridiculous. We got to do this before Trump gets back. That's Lindsey Graham. We got to get this done before Trump gets back. Are y'all crazy? You don't have any idea what's going to happen? He's going to stop all this. I mean, we're at $250 billion. We could get to $1 trillion. Why is everybody looking at me like that? Y'all are just ridiculous on the left and the right. I can't believe this. I wanted to be worth $300 million this winter. Good God. All right. I'm leaving. Just whatever the vote is, I vote yes. I'm out of here. But I'm just going to leave this on a serious note because Donald Trump actually made a big announcement today. And I figure, there's going to be some videos where I make sure to just go over some other stuff. Donald Trump made a big announcement today in regards to cartels. This is a new video from Donald Trump. And it's a message to Mexico and the cartels. Listen to this.
Our once great cities have become unlivable, unsanitary nightmares, surrendered to the homeless, the drug addicted, and the violent and dangerously deranged. We're making many suffer for the whims of a deeply unwell few, and they are unwell indeed. The homeless have no right to turn every park and sidewalk into a place for them to squat and do drugs. Americans should not have to step over piles of needles and waste as they walk down a street in a beautiful city, or at least once beautiful city, because they've changed so much over the last 10 years. Our first consideration should be the rights and safety of the hardworking, law-abiding citizens who make our society function. When I'm back in the White House, we will use every tool, lever, and authority to get the homeless off our streets. We want to take care of them, but they have to be off our streets. There is nothing compassionate about letting these individuals live in filth and squalor rather than getting them the help that they need. We need professionals to help them. For a small fraction of what we spend upon Ukraine, we could take care of every homeless veteran in America. Our veterans are being treated horribly. Likewise, with all of the money we will save by ending mass unskilled migration, we will have a huge dividend to address this crisis in our own country. Under my strategy, working with states, we will ban urban camping wherever possible. Violators of these bans will be arrested, but they will be given the option to accept treatment and services if they're willing to be rehabilitated. Many of them don't want that, but we'll give them the option. We will then open up large parcels of inexpensive land, bring in doctors, psychiatrists, social workers, and drug rehab specialists, and create 10 cities where the homeless can be relocated and their problems identified. But we'll open up our cities again, make them livable, and make them beautiful.
Obviously, I made a mistake. It wasn't the one about the cartels. That's a different video, but this is just as important, if not more. This is actually amazing. Listen, keep listening.
Those who are just temporarily down on their luck, we will work to help them quickly reintegrate into a normal life. For those who have addictions, substance abuse, and common mental health problems, we will get them into treatment. And for those who are severely mentally ill and deeply disturbed, we will bring them back to mental institutions where they belong, with the goal of reintegrating them back into society once they are well enough to manage. It's a tough task, a very tough task. What's taken place on the streets, what's taken place with their taking so much drugs. But the fact is, we're going to try. This strategy will be far better and also far less expensive than spending vast sums of taxpayer money to house the homeless in luxury hotels without addressing their underlying issues, and they have so many of these underlying issues and needs. This is how I will end the scourge of homelessness and make our cities clean and safe and beautiful once again. We will do it. We will bring back America. Thank you.
Wow. So there was a message to the cartels where he's waging war on the cartels, but this is just as important. I did not, I got the clips confused. I didn't get to listen to this one completely, but this sounds incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's removing the obscene tent cities and all the craziness that you see, especially in California, especially downtown LA, a little bit here in Texas as well, you know, although the governor has been good about it. But it is something you see nationwide. You know, Kensington, Philadelphia could really use this type of thing because a lot of those people need treatment and they can't get accepted. And honestly, if they get picked up and they get that option, you know, hopefully they take it. But this is amazing. I did not realize that he had this plan. This is, man, if he gets even half of what he's trying to get done, this country is going to it's just going to be an overhaul. If he just gets this done, what we just heard him say, and the mass deportation, and, you know, I'm sorry if you know anyone that's illegal, but, you know, it's something that has to happen. He's been running on it. He wants to secure the border, and that's part of it. If he gets those two things done, that just makes everything look so different. And it frees up so many jobs. I mean, let's be real. A lot of Black and Latino people who are born citizens and came over legally are having their job opportunities hurt so much. It just frees up so much. It frees up so much money. Chicago spent like $1 billion some odd dollars. You know, who knows how much New York has spent. Gavin Newsom trying to tackle homelessness misplaced $20 billion. It'll just free up so much. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And then instead of going to war, they'll have all this surplus and they can just be like, here you go, Lindsey. And Lindsey's like, oh, no war? No war. I just get it. Okay. It's just mine. I don't have to lie. Okay. I'll do that. Yeah. Give me two. Give me that one too. Yeah. Give me. Thank you. All right, guys. That's enough laying into Lindsey Graham. These are jokes, folks. I'm sure he's a wonderful guy who knows a bunch of wonderful guys. Like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and other than that, I'm out.